Greetings everyone, and welcome to the quest log, episode 2. If you're playing a paladin, you'll need to make sure that you have two things. Patience, because it takes forever to actually kill things, and a Ghoulbane. The Ghoulbane is an important weapon in the paladin's arsenal. It is great for leveling up due to its proc to undead, as well as it is needed to complete the paladin's epic. Shadow Knights actually need it as well for their epic, so it is an important item for them to get too. It has to proc Dismiss Undead at level 20, which is a burst of holy power that inflicts between 140 and 162 damage to an undead target. The Ghoulbane could be looted from the Froglock Shin Lord and Upper Gut. The Shin Lord is a paladin, so he can lay hands and cast healing. His placeholders are a Froglock Tall Shaman, Froglock Shin Warrior, and a Froglock Shin Knight. It is on a 16-minute spawn time, and he is not guaranteed to have the Ghoulbane every time. In fact, it is a rare drop on his loot table, so you might be there for a while if you're camping him for the weapon. When camping him, there's a hidden wall behind him that can have a couple of Froglock Shamans who will heal him behind the wall. After they're done, they can aggro you and attack you as well. So if you're a lower level, it's good to have a strong group with you when camping him. But did you know there was another way to get the Ghoulbane? There is a quest that will reward you with it. Join me as we go on this adventure to get a Ghoulbane. Because this quest has quite a bit of travel involved with it, for today's adventure we're going to use my level 50 Druid Sexy. The start of this quest will take us to the West Karanas. Along the coast you'll see Ryson Huntsty. He's near the North Karana zone line. Note that this quest was implemented when the Warrens went live. Hail, Ryson. Hello, what brings you to the Karanas? Do you seek enlightenment? I seek enlightenment. Ah, I can see by the look in your eyes that you're looking for something more than just enlightenment. Perhaps you're looking for a sword crafted by a nobleman. What sword? It is not just a sword, my friend. It's much more than that. This sword carries with it a special power, something unlike anything else within this realm. What power? It is an instrument fashioned together by a nobleman. It is said to be blessed by the gods themselves. Only a man whose bloodline comes from nobility may wield it. Do you seek the sword of nobility? I seek the sword of nobility. I see, then take this note to Ogrebane. I've been told he could be found fishing not too far from the Dwarven city. You received the note to Canthuk. Now that you received the note, it's time to travel to Butcher Block. Head to the boat docks. If you go around the wall on the north side to the shoreline and follow that north, you will find Canthuk Ogrebane standing there. Give him a note. I see that you've spoken to Ryson. You seem tired from your long journey. Sit with me as I tell you a tale. A tale about a true friend of mine, a great man known as Amstaff. I won't say his last name. Who is Amstaff? Amstaff was a good man. I followed him into battle many times. We've seen many of our friends die by the sword of others. What battle? I remember the first time we charged into battle. I was so scared. My hands wouldn't stop trembling. Amstaff pulled me off to the side before the initial attack began. He held my hands with his. I saw his hands begin to glow and felt his energy pass into me. I felt courage. What courage? I've never forgot what he did for me that day. He gave me the courage to continue. No one's ever done anything like that for me. I vowed that day that I'd follow him into any battle. I'd be there alongside him no matter what. As time went on, we came across an elven woman named Ambrine. Who is Ambrine? Ambrine was younger than he and I. She knew of his powers of nature. She was able to control the rain which fell from the heavens and would call upon the spirits to aid her. It was obvious that Amstaff took a liking to Ambrine. She ended up coming along with us on her crusades. The last I saw Ambrine was when she went to the snow-covered lands of Everfrost. We were wandering the lands when a freak snowstorm hit us. We were separated from one another for quite some time. What snowstorm? I didn't know where it came from, but it was so sudden that it caught all of us off guard. The snow quickly became unbearable. I tried to move to higher ground but was unable to. I was stuck within the snowy confines. I didn't know what to do next. What next? As I lay there, my body began to slowly freeze, and I knew death was near, and I accepted the inevitable. Suddenly, I felt something clutching my cloak. I was being dragged upwards out of the snow. A hand pressed against my chest and began to glow. I felt energy pass into my body. Do you know how he had saved me? How did he save you? He saved my life by laying his hands upon my body. A few moments later, we found Ambrine lying in the snow, her body frozen by harsh surroundings. We lifted her off the ground and began to look for shelter. What shelter? We ended up taking refuge within a deserted cabin not far off from our location. We knew that we didn't have much time left to bring life back to our body. However, the storm didn't pass through, and we knew we couldn't venture out too far for fear of freezing. I warmed the cabin and rested for some time thinking about what we were going to do. It wasn't long before my exhaustion took over and I fell into a deep slumber that night. What slumber? That night I dreamt of many beings. Random thoughts kept swirling around my mind. I kept seeing the image of a cloaked being and of Amstaff circled around a fire. I saw Ambrine's body convulsing before the fire as if life were being brought back to it. I don't know what happened that night. I don't even know what I dreamt was real, but before I awoke I saw a strange image. What image? I saw Amstaff lower his head and walk away in silence. He was surrounded by two beings carrying a torch. I don't know what it meant, but I swear it was so real. When I awoke, both Amstaff and Ambrine were gone. Please find Laura and give her this pendant. This pendant belonged to Amstaff. She too had a vision that night that may clear things up. If she asks where you got it from, mention my name. To find Laura, you need to head to Dagnar's Cauldron south of Butcher Block. Dagnar's Cauldron is a barren zone with aggressive aqua goblins and undertow skeletons that roam all over the zone. It is often quite difficult to see due to the terrain. Another danger from the terrain itself is that people travel here at enhanced speeds, and they have to take into consideration that falling off some of these rock formations can be painful and deadly. The best way to get through this zone is by using a levitate spell. You can find Laura just outside of Unrest up on a ledge to the right when you're looking out at the water. Give the pendant to Laura. Oh my, this belongs to Amstaff. Where did you get this? Kunthuk gave it to me. I take it you're here to find out more about Amstaff. Who is Amstaff? I've known Amstaff since he was a child. We grew up in the same city together. Ever since I've known him, there's always been something unusual about him. What was unusual? When we were growing up, we used to venture outside the city gates. Sometimes we would encounter a wandering ghoul or an undead spirit of some sort. He was always able to quickly dismiss the undead being with very little effort. I learned many things growing up with Amstaff. What did you learn? Amstaff told me many things when we were younger. Once Amstaff told me that life isn't about how you get there, it's about where you end up. I miss my dear friend. It's been a long time since I've seen him. The night of the snowstorm, I dreamt about him. I remember seeing Amstaff's face. I saw something I've never seen before. What did you see? I saw desperation. I spoke to many people who knew Amstaff, trying to find out if anyone had heard anything about that night. No one knew anything about it. When I reached the dwarven hunting grounds, I ran into a woman named Walnan. She kept rambling on and on about the power of the orb and something about Magicot. I don't understand what she was saying. I don't know anything about my situation either, but she did tell me that there were others that may be able to help me. She told me that I should find Ruth. Who is Ruth? Ruth is known for her ability to look into people's souls and find the truth. Though I wasn't able to find Amstaff, I was able to recover his sword. I believe that by having his sword, I am closer to finding him. Take this note to Ruth and tell her that I sent you. We received a note to Ruth. To find Ruth, you need to head to Lava Storm Mountains. This is another one of those zones that has steep drop-offs, so if you have Levitate, it definitely will come in handy. You can find her near the Nectolos Forest Zone. When you come across Ruth and you give her the note that you got, and she says, I see you've spoken to Laura. She too came looking to me for Amstaff. Though she wasn't able to find her friend, she was able to recover his sword. Say, what sword? I've heard stories about a holy sword. There were many rumored to be hidden all throughout the world, yet only a few have actually been found. Amstaff had one of these swords. It is known for its ability to dismiss the undead. Perhaps by having this sword, it'll bring you closer to finding your friend. Gather a Ghouls Heart, Amstaff Scroll, the Blade of Nobility, and a Nobleman's Hilt, and place them in this bag. What bag? Take this bag and gather the items I've mentioned. I've been told that the Ghouls Heart can be found in the estate of the undead, while the scroll can be found in the keep not far from the Karanas. One of the others is rumored to be found near the Dwarven city among the goblins, while the last should be found in the caverns of Thegina. And she gives you this 4-slot bag. Be sure that you have space in your inventory for the bag, or you're going to be kind of out of luck. Thegina is just east of Ruth. Thegina is an ancient home of a twisted dark elf magician named Thegina, who carved out this hole in the hidden areas of the Lava Storm Mountains in which to carry out her experiments, as well as those of her allies. The undead walk the halls as if it were her home. Various keys are used throughout this zone. Respawn time is 19 minutes for most mobs. You'll go through the gates at Thegina and around the corner, and once you're through, you take a left. Travel down there and you will see a mob called a skeleton. Those are the mobs that you need to kill to loot the hilt of the nobleman. Next, to get Amstaff Scroll, you need to head to High Keep. In the basement of the keep, there's a whole bunch of goblins. Generally, there'll be a group down there killing for experience. And if you ask them nicely if you can loot the scroll if it drops, most times they'll go ahead and let you loot it. While I was here, the scroll dropped pretty quickly. I didn't have to wait very long. After I looted the scroll, I also buffed up the group and headed on. To get a Ghouls Heart, you need to travel to the Estate of Unrest. The Estate of Unrest was once home of a dwarven noble in ages past following the unholy destruction that created Dagnar's Cauldron and the following takeover of that region by evil creatures. His estate was overrun by the undead and is now one of the great havens of the unliving in all of Norath. You can find the estate inside of Dagnar's Cauldron. A Ghouls Heart drops from a crazed ghoul. Even though the wiki says that a Karen ghoul can drop them, I killed a number of them and it didn't drop. And at my first crazed ghoul kill, the heart dropped right away. It's a rare drop, so you might have to kill a few before you get it. For the final piece, you need the Blade of Nobility, which drops from a crazed goblin in Butcherblock Mountains. If you look on the map on the wiki, it is marked as location number 6. As I was running to the location, somebody was there killing goblins for experience, and the blade dropped. They were kind enough to go ahead and let me loot it. Talk about some luck. I remember last time I did this quest, it took a little bit more time of waiting for them to spawn. In fact, before I left, another crazed goblin spawned and another blade dropped. So I'm not sure how rare these would be. It would just so you know. Okay, so we finally got the last pieces. So all now we need to do is insert all the pieces into the nobleman's bag. We have the Ghouls Heart, Amstaff Scroll, Hilt of the Nobleman, and Blade of Nobility. And hit combine, and we are now rewarded with the Ghoulbane. Thank you guys for watching the video. I really do appreciate it. This was a lot of fun to do. I really did enjoy myself. I'm not entirely sure when the next quest log video is going to come about, as my job has gotten a little chaotic and work hours and such has increased. So it might be a little bit of time before the next one comes out, but rest assured I do plan on having more come out, and possibly with some special guests. So I'll have to check back and see who I'm talking about. I may put up a video in the meantime of just me playing the game, you know, as time allows me to do, and with just maybe some thoughts on where the channel might be going or something like that. So anyway, thank you guys one more time, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye now.